In this video, we're going to look on a main screen and navigations inside the Terragen. For some of you who work already for some time, this is already a very natural way to do it. But for those people who are using different applications like me, sometimes you come and you try to figure out your way because key mapping may be different. So hopefully this video will help you to point in different directions. Okay, first, if you're working on a Mac or Windows, you use the Alt or Option key, hold down, and then using the right mouse key, click, and you can kind of look around. So this is a rotation from point of view. On the middle button on your mouse, if you hold down Alt key, you can actually zoom in and out, and this is quite a bit faster. You can also zoom if you're using scroll window, but it will take much slower. So usually if you hold down Alt or Option, middle button, and you go up and down, and you can see you can zoom in and out. And our right button, hold down Alt or Option, and right button, click, hold, and you can kind of pan around the horizon point. So this is very basic but very intuitive navigation. Besides using your own mouse, you also can use it some built-in our viewing panel navigation. Top right corner, you can see right here circle with 4 pointing arrows. If we click on this, this is expand special navigation, which allowed us to navigate by clicking with the mouse in the area. Of course, the first, it's look like a pad. Just imagine like a trackpad. We'll click and we go left or right, up and down, and you can see how it's changed when you click left mouse click, hold, and you move your mouse, and you can see how it's changing. You also can click on the arrow, which will kind of keep on scrolling. Okay, so you can kind of like scroll, same up and down, or zoom out and in. So it's very intuitive, very easy to do by using middle. On the sides, you have it optional effect. So for example, same, you can zoom up and down, move your camera, up and down. You can zoom, and it's kind of icon giveaway. You can look up, tilt, and tilt camera up and down. You can even tilt against the Z-axis, so you can adjusting your horizon. I think my horizon, there you go, that is a better horizon. And of course, you can turn around against the point viewing point. So your point is center, and you just rotate around the center. Okay, beside that, you'll notice you will have an option how fast you want this to work. This is very nice pad if you have like touch screen, maybe you're working, or other area, or you prefer a little bit more softer navigation, because for example, if I go to decrease like all the way down, I can adjust just small steps, or you can have it like bigger steps if you adjust, and you can see how jumping. Okay, to close it, we'll just need click X, and it's hiding in your window. On the left, you'll notice it is your current positions, and the yellow dot is where the currently sun located. So it's helping with the lighting and overview. This is mostly informational, and you cannot click. If you right click, it's pop-up sub-menu, which is actually accessible anywhere. So this one is mostly informational. If you look bottom left, this is our exposure. So we can click, open, and then we can make brighter or darker. This is just for the view exposure, and sometimes it's happened depending on what type of scenery created. Okay, let's go ahead and close this. Another very important things in this window, it is the bottom one icons. So notice right here, as we zoom out, we have a camera position far away, and we look kind of far away. So let me go, like for example, if I go way out, okay, like right here, and I try to render this element, it won't render because it will render from position of my camera. Below this bottom left, you can see it's copy the current position to my render camera. If I click now, I will render from that position. This is actually one thing when I sometimes work, I forgetting about this copy, and it's a render. I'm like, oh, it's a render and it's the wrong place. So this is because I need copy. Next to this, it is different selection of the camera for viewpoint. So if we click down, you can notice right here we have our current render camera, but we also can switch directly to perspective view, top view, and all other ones. This is helpful when you have multi-windows. You can set up the classical view, not just the perspective view. You can have it top, bottom, and work this way as you prefer. Or you can always select directly from here and preview in a way you want it. Okay, so let's go ahead back to my camera. The next we'll have it our reset camera position to default. And other ones is options for the camera. So one, it is allowed the select camera to look point. Another one, select for the orbit, set camera orbit about your point of view set. And this one is the free orbit mode. Notice one nice thing, so that I highly recommend for you, if you're not familiar with this icon, enable tooltip. Because if you don't even remember, you go over and right here we have it, our tooltip pop up. So it's just remind me what is happening. So this is at the bottom. On the top, if we look, this is a little bit more. I will just point couple elements because we come back to this a little bit later. But generally, you'll notice right here you have different preview modes. And one is enable disable materials, the shaders, enable atmosphere, lighting, and we also have it display object mode if you want to frame, do all this smooth shader textures and so on. So it's when you import some different object, you maybe want to select this way. Keep in mind, when we enable, it does look nice, but it's not necessarily represent how it will render. It will be rendered a little bit different because produce more details, and as well it's a little bit more intensive on a way as you work. Notice right here, if I move, and I have a nice video card 3090, so it's perform okay. But when I have a less powerful video card, sometimes it's have a little bit harder time with all this pre-rendering. Now also, you can enable the depth field preview. You can and all additional options. We'll look on them a little bit later when we start working on a scene, so we're going to use this. Just overall, they're not necessary. Reflect how you view. They also sometimes affect the scenery. For example, with the brush, you can paint like clouds and other things. So they're a little bit more than just changing view. But general, what you want to know, it's these three on the top: lighting, atmosphere, and materials. So those ones toggling help you to establish. We also have it RTP, but problem with the ray tracing. You want to do when it's the most rendering, and we'll touch this a little bit later. It does provide a little bit more accurate, closer to the render effect on preview, but again, usually you maybe want in the end when you work with atmosphere, kind of with more lighting setup, to use this on the beginning when we stop just terrain shape, maybe positioning and other stuff. We probably don't want to use this. And of course, you have it your pause and reset your pre-render if you want preview rendering, all the stuff. This window, you can maximize, restore a 3D preview. You can move it in different position if you need it. Overall, here's our main preview. I would recommend just play around, try to create previews, change different windows, change camera positioning, see how work, rotate, find your own style. For me, I found out that many times I just have it my own way. I move my camera and work with this. That is more efficient to me, and I work this way. Other people maybe use this in different way as well. Thank you for watching this video, and let's go check our different tabs in next chapter.